So in this particular live session, we will talk about how to attempt 90 plus or 85 plus questions in your UPSC CSE Prelims. देखो बहुत ही important होता है कि you attempt at least 85 to 90 questions. If you can attempt 100, then nothing like that. But at least there is a fear instilled in you that there is a huge negative marking, so you need to prepare accordingly. So that is actually not that true. So we will explore that in this particular live session. By the way, you can download an Academy's learning app and you can watch all the awesome courses by great educators on an Academy, and the link is in the description below, and it is for Android right now. We'll push it for iOS very soon. So in prelims, whenever you sit in the exam hall, let's say you just know 50 questions. So let's say if you have been told कि वही question करने चाहिए जो आपको आते हैं, you should do only those questions which you know properly. So if you can do just those questions, if you just do let's say these 50 questions, then you will get, let's assume that all of these questions are correct. So even if you get like 50 into 200 marks, so that is fine, but you will not be able to clear cutoff, right? The cutoff is around 110, 120, usually in that range, 110, 116. If the paper is easy, it can be 120 also. So to get like 110 or 116 marks, you'll need to have at least net correct of 55 to 58. So since you want net correct of 55 to 58, then there is no one I know personally who does not get even one question wrong. Everybody in the nervousness, they can fill the wrong bubble. There are like so many permutation combination that कुछ तो गलत हो ही जाएगा, something will go wrong. So in that scenario, and obviously there are options are very confusing. Forget about human error, the options are very confusing, that sometimes two options might be correct but one is more appropriate than the other. So considering all this, and then you need to clear the cutoff and you need to get 116, 120 marks just to be on the safer side of the curve. So it becomes very important that you attempt at least 85 plus questions in the prelims. Target for 90 plus, but at least 85 plus. There are very few people who can get, let's say, 75 questions. They attempt 75 questions, and out of that like 3 or 4 are wrong, but 71 or 72 are correct. So if you are one of those people, then this live session is not at all for you. Then you don't need to do anything. So first of all, like how I would go is that I will take this GS paper 1 question paper, and then I will take it backwards. So I'll just go through all the 100 questions very quickly. Let's say you get your paper at 9:30. So next 10 minutes, just relax, just take a chill pill, and just go through the entire question paper. Read the entire 100 questions. Just make sure there are 100 questions. What if they give you 150? Like, okay, just give you an example. Like they can give you a shock anytime. So just make sure there are 100 questions, and just make sure that you know some of them. You may not know some of them. So just gauge the difficulty level of the paper. So if the paper is very difficult, then you can even attempt 80 questions also. But if you see that paper is simple, that is there are, let's say, 40 questions which you know are very simple and anyone can do it, then you definitely know that the paper is not that tough. So once that is established, and once that is known, that whether the paper is easy or not, so after that part is gone, what I would personally do is I would personally start from the backwards, and I will try to attempt all the questions which I know in the first go. No means I know the answer for sure, that answer is B, answer is D, answer is A, answer is C, whatever might be the case. I will use elimination method, all these methods, but I will 100% know that this is the only answer. ये बात ध्यान से सुनना, that 100% आपको पक्का पता है कि यही आंसर है, इसका आंसर और कुछ हो नहीं सकता. फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स से दे आस्क यू कि जो ब्रिक्स नेशन है इनमें से कौन सी कंट्री नहीं है, ठीक है, तो आई से इंडिया ही होता है, इंडोनेशिया नहीं होता. सो यू नो दैट इंडोनेशिया इज द आंसर इन दिस केस. सो जस्ट मार्क इंडोनेशिया एंड मूव फॉरवर्ड. Okay, which of the following is not the member of SARC? So if there's a China, then obviously that is wrong. So such questions which you know 100% sure, just mark them and then go ahead. So in the first attempt itself, if this mark is around, let's say, 40, then it is a good start. 40 is a very good start. Less than 40, it means that you have not done your preparation well. If it is between 40 to 55, that means that you are a very good aspirant. and if it is approaching 55, it is the best. And in some cases, in very very few cases, there are some aspirants who can do it 60 plus also. So matlab you are 100% sure that 60 plus questions you know by heart. So if you fall in the 60 plus bracket, then you don't need to do much beyond that, because you have already secured your selection. But nobody can be 100% sure. If you are in less than 40 bracket, then this video will help you like anything, because anyway आपका selection तो हो नहीं रहा, impossible है. अगर आपने 40 plus mark करके आए हो and then you are leaving 60 plus questions, then you are not getting selected. No chance in hell कि you are getting selected. Now what you do is you mark some questions in the between. Let's say आपने 50 कर लिए, 50 बचे हैं, so you mark them, you encircle them, whatever you want, and then you go from the front to the back. Again, since now you have time, you can think about them, you can ponder on them. So the first marking, the first 40, 50, 60 questions जो भी आपको attempt करने हैं, they should be done in the first half an hour or 40 minutes. Because अगर आपको पता है answer, if you know the answer for sure, it will just take you 10, 20, 30 seconds max per question. Okay, so you can finish off these 40, 50 questions in half an hour, 40 minutes, so that at least 1 hour 20 minutes is left, 1 hour 30 minutes is left for you to solve these questions which you have some doubt about the options कि ये सही भी हो सकता है, ये भी सही हो सकता है. Then try to read the language of the question, try to find, don't attempt these questions first of all. Sometimes the answer is given in the question paper itself, so please do not attempt this question paper without reading all the questions, because the answer sometimes is given in the question itself. The second question में पूछा होगा कि let's say the headquarter of XYZ is located where, okay, and then 98th question होगा this headquarter is located in this city, consider the following statement about this organization. ये भी होता है. And even if you can get one question more by reading the entire question paper, then obviously you will get 2 marks more, and that can make or break your career. So now what I will personally do is I will go through those questions where I have a doubt over one option. One option means I know this can be correct or this can be correct. So basically 50-50 chance, जैसे KBC में होता है, you have a 50-50 chance of getting it correct. So I will try to maximize my questions in this 50-50 domain. How do I do it? You can use elimination method, you can use various techniques. If it is asking all, must, always, usually such words are wrong. Usually बता रहा हूँ. Especially in social science, there is no black and white, there is always a gray area. ठीक है? So if it is asking only, always, must, or so these words 70-80% of the time they will be wrong, because in science they can be correct, because in science there are absolute things. ठीक है कि मतलब absolute temperature cannot be less than 0 Kelvin. Yes, this is correct. So but in social science the things are over a continuum, it is over a range, it's not a fixed answer in social science. So using various methods I have made one MCQ trick. So if you just on YouTube, if you write MCQ tricks, you will get that video. Already like 15-16 lakh people have watched it, so you can watch it. So using that video, you have to maximize those questions where you know 50-50 sure either this or that is correct. So now the trick comes that you will need to have courage now, you will need to have conviction now. So if you have just done less than 40, तो देखो आपका selection तो हो नहीं रहा, impossible है. So what you might as well attempt all the questions where you have doubt whatsoever in two options, not 4 options, 2 options. So let's say you have another 25 or 30 questions where you have 50-50 chance. So if in 30 questions you are able to attempt all the 30 questions, then chances that you will get at least 10 to 15 correct. Let's say you can get 20 correct also. I'm not saying you can get 30 correct also, but the chances at least you will fall between 10 to 20 mark. This is the range. 99% chances that, not exactly probability wise, but let's say more than 90% chances that you will get either 10 questions correct or 20 questions correct. I'll need to calculate probability, but not right now, not in the mood. So once you, let's say you have done 20 correct, then though you are getting a lot of marks. Okay, you are getting 50 plus net marks, so which is huge. आपका selection हो जाएगा 50 plus marks में तो. But if you are getting just 10 correct, so even in that case you will get 10 marks. So your marks, additional marks will vary between 10 to 50. अगर 10 करेक्ट करोगे तो 30 minus 20 करना पड़ेगा, अगर 20 करेक्ट करोगे तो 60 minus 10 करना पड़ेगा. So can you realize the fact that if you have 2 options left, there is a more than 90% chance that you will get 10 marks or 50 marks. So अभी आप 50 क्वेश्चन करके आ रहे थे, so you are getting 100 marks. If you are getting, let's say, 10 marks extra or 15 marks extra, so that will make all the difference in the world. Okay, so that is all that is needed. And once that is done, let's say now you are in your head, at least if the paper is considered to be moderately difficult, then you are getting, let's say, 125 or 120 marks, then you can leave the paper safely if it is moderately difficult. But assume it is very very easy. ये भी हो सकता है ना easy आ जाए, because sometimes cutoff is 105, sometimes it is 116. Then you can go to the next category of the options where you are confused between 3 options. When you are confused between all 4, then I will suggest ki leave it completely. That will fall in the 10 to 15 questions where you literally can't do anything, right? जो 10 to 15 questions आते हैं, you can't do anything. But if let's say you have just attempted till now also, you have attempted 45-50 questions, तो वो भी करने पड़ जाएंगे 4 ऑप्शन वाले, बिकॉज एनीवे आपका सिलेक्शन तो हो ही नहीं रहा ना, वो तो इम्पॉसिबल है. तो वहाँ पे एज वेल यू माइट टेक चांस. इट्स लाइक कि 5 ओवर्स में 80 रन चाहिए, तो वैसे ही नहीं जीतने वाले 16-16 रन हर ओवर में. इट्स इम्पॉसिबल टू मेक. इट्स नॉट इम्पॉसिबल बट इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू मेक. सो यू माइट एज वेल गो ऑल गन्स ब्लेजिंग, एंड हो सकता है कि देयर इज अ माइट चांस यू गेट सेलेक्टेड. But now let's say you are in a dicey situation where you are between 115 to 120 or 125. Then what I will suggest is कि those options where you are confused in 3, where 3 मतलब 1 you can eliminate for sure, 100% you can eliminate. So let's say which of the following cities is in India, है ना, and they are talking about New York. I'm just giving a hypothetical example. So obviously that cannot be correct, right? Yeah, which of the following states the deltas are present? So they give you Gujarat, Odisha, West Bengal and Rajasthan. Rajasthan cannot have deltas, right, because there is no sea. So that way you can eliminate Rajasthan for sure. So here like the answer will be like 1, 2, 3. But the key point is that you can eliminate one option at least, or this is how you can progress. So if you are between 115 to 125 mark, where you have attempted 55 to 62 net correct, then you can play your chances on these 3. If you are 70 plus net correct, or where your marks are 130 plus 65 net correct, then I will suggest you leave the paper then and there and you don't play with it anymore. But if you are between 115 to 125 net marks correct, so then you will need to attempt these MCQs also where you are confused between 3 options. Attempt them at the last, at the very very last moment, and don't rush in them. Just try to think, try to convert this into 3 options to 2 options, eliminate one more by taking some cue from what you have learned over a period of time, and I think that will help you a lot. Eventually you will be able to get the cutoff marks. Okay, so thank you for watching this. Have an awesome day. Do download Unacademy's learning app.